welcome to Badger Beer Report, the brewery report for 7/8/25. That is July 8th, 2025. We have reports from all across Wisconsin, from north to the south to the east to the west. And without further ado, we will bring on my esteemed colleague, our in-house brewery expert, as I call him. He doesn't like it, but I don't care what he likes in this manner. I mean, I do, but not in this manner. It's my friend Joe Geyer. Hi, Joe. How are you?
Good. How are you doing today, Greg?
I'm doing great. We have a lot of, it's always fun to do these things.
You weren't kidding when you said, north, south, east, west. We got it all going on today.
Yeah. To the tips. So let's start with a bit of unexpected and unfortunate news.
Yeah. I mean, we're going to go ahead and get the sad news out of the way, which is what we kind of have been doing here whenever we have a closure. This one kind of caught us off guard, and, maybe it's because we don't, this isn't necessarily the neck of the woods that we are, super deep into covering as much, because, we obviously live mostly, me in Milwaukee and Chris in Milwaukee, you down in Madison, but we do have Landon kind of up close-ish that area. But anyway, Hop and Barrel Brewing in Hudson, Wisconsin, which for those that don't know is right along the river there before you get over to the Twin Cities in Minnesota. After 7.5 years, they have closed their doors. I believe they are not, I guess they've not officially closed their doors. They're closing their doors here at the end of the month. Their final weekend, it says, will be July 25th to July 27th. So you still have the rest of this month if you would like to go and get beer from Hop and Barrel. I can't say that I have a ton of history with this brewery, but I can say that I've had their beer at a handful of different festivals and events and have enjoyed it. And I did also pay them a visit just this past December. So it was 7-8 months ago that I visited them. And I mean, it was one that I really did actually enjoy. It was in an old Ford dealership right there downtown in Hudson. They did a ton of events, always doing stuff with the community, it seemed, and a lot of really good beer. I really enjoyed. I told them this when we just talked to them at the Wisconsin and Beer Lovers Festival. We were trying to make a little connection to have some contacts up in that part of the state, which makes this timing, even more unfortunate. And I told them then that when I visited, I had their Marzen, which was, kind of towards the tail end of the season a little bit there. And it was my favorite one that I had in 2024 of all the Oktoberfests I had. I also had a really good English Mile, as well as kind of out of left field, a lime shandy that I quite enjoyed as well. So in my post for them on social media, I said, they're right along I-94. So if you're driving to or from the Twin Cities, it was worthy of a stop. And obviously, they've distributed, kind of gotten their brand out all over the state, and I'm sure throughout, parts of Minnesota as well. So one that, like I said, we did not see coming. One that I feel like for me and you, we were just starting to really kind of get in with, like, really liking what they were doing. So that really stings, but I don't know. Do you have any other thoughts that you'd like to add, in the kind of the brief interactions that we've had with the brewery?
Yeah. Like you, I visited them once and I enjoyed it. And I don't remember specifically. I remember having 2 flights there, and I remember the first flight having like 2 really good ones and 2 that I wasn't really grabbing to. And then I remember I had 4 more, and I was like, "Oh, this brewery's great." So it was like the more I drank them, the more you drank them, the more I loved them. I love the city. Like, everything Joel said was right. The city's great. It's just a really nice hop, skip, and a jump if you're going from Madison up to the Twin Cities. It's just sad. Hudson's a really good place. And I don't know, seems like they were well received by their community. So it's just sad to see them go. Yeah, we were talking to them last beer fest we were at. We were hopefully going to bring more of their story to y'all, but unfortunately, that's the end of Hop and Barrel. And if y'all have a chance or y'all vacation up north, I'd say go out of my way to go try them, and check it out for sure.
So to clarify, though, I just realized reading this, they are not actually open to the public, though, the rest of this month. They are only open to the public there at the end of July, and they are still open for all previously scheduled events and groups and whatnot. So I don't know if they have any other types of events or groups that people can join in for. I guess I would check their social media. Otherwise, that final weekend in July, they will be open to the public. It says it's a weekend long celebration and that there will be more details. So yeah, follow the social media if you're interested in either checking them out, or if you are local up there, getting in one last hurrah to enjoy their beer. So moving on now, we have some follow-up news here in regards to Clockwork. This was kind of the bombshell that we broke last time that we were talking to you guys, that in Menominee Falls, this new brewery is coming in, going to be brought in by Anders, the guy that was behind. He was at Explorium. He helped open up Oak Brewing in West Allis. And then we didn't have a whole lot of information to go off of. But the day after we broke the news, because it was kind of, or not, I don't know if we did not break the news. There were stories, and then we kind of announced it and kind of tried to do a little more digging. And then I went through and found all of the records from the village, Menominee Falls Village Architectural Board, that included, if you are watching right now, all these diagrams and renderings of the building, the space, how it's all going to be laid out on the place. And we were right. It's right there on Old Orchard Road, right next to Dreska Park golf course. So some tidbits, though, from these records and kind of what they show is that it's going to be a very large space. So it's going to be over 3,000 square feet tap room, 2,000 square foot event space, 1,500 square foot patio. That doesn't even include the actual brewing facility itself. That there's even a plan in it for a 5,000 to 10,000 square foot expansion once it gets off the ground. They're planning on hiring at least 20 to 30 people right off the start, hoping to distribute regionally pretty quickly, is what it says. No plans for a kitchen, possibility for food truck parking, but does not currently have that in the specific plans. Capacity is going to be almost 200 inside, over 50 outside. Does not have anything about the brewing system, but based off of these plans, I think it's safe to say it's going to be pretty darn substantial, Greg. This is a big project. And we kind of talked about this, that Ope had a similarly large building. They were not building from scratch, and they also were not brewing as much beer right from the get-go. They kind of ramped things slowly up. It sounds like Clockwork may be kind of hitting the ground running potentially, a little bit more so based on the blending stuff. Like I said, there's also probably going to be some mixed firms, some different types of barrel aging. I'm sure there's going to be a whole lot of that going on as well. But yeah, there is still no social media anywhere for Clockwork. If you Google Clockwork Brewing and Blending, the only thing you'll find are the handful of news articles talking about this process, essentially. You won't find any other information than what I kind of just spat out, unless you are talking to the guy directly, I would assume. But yeah, I mean, I'm still excited for this. It sounds like also he was commenting on some of these posts, basically saying like they're hoping to have this happen pretty quickly. Like they have a couple small changes, I guess, to the plan that they have to do to like fit certain codes and regulations for Menominee Falls, and then they're gonna break ground. I have no idea what kind of time frame. I mean, we've seen new builds that have gone quicker, and we've seen new builds get drawn out, like what we're just about to talk about with some other places. So who knows? But very excited about this one, Greg. Oh, I didn't quite hear you there, Greg.
It has a very open feel to it. Very open feel to it.
Yeah.
Big place, no, an attention to food, but not in house.
Mm-hmm.
It seems like they just want to have an event place to
Mm-hmm.
supplement the brewery. But like you said, where it doesn't sound like ope is the capacity of beer and the idea of moving a whole lot of beer regionally really quickly, whereas Ope gave the more, not that this place doesn't give that vibe, but Ope gave more of a, hey, we're here for, our small community. And now, what I mean, now we see them branching out with the expansion and I think brewing more too and all that. But, you could tell that the guy has, his history is with Ope.
Yeah, he
You
knows
could
what
see
I,
some
I
of
would
that
assume.
vision.
Mm-hmm.
You could see some of that vision here. Not all of it, but some of it. And it's fun to see and for us to speculate. But we're just speculating. We'll see what happens soon enough here with Clockwork. It's a fun thing. One that we're going to be enjoying watching come up here. Yes. Another one we enjoyed watching come up here, Joel,
is Fond du Lac.
Yeah, we did. We like this one.
And I won't, take too long because I am planning on having Lyle on for a podcast interview, the owner and brewer there of Fond du Lac. But if you do not follow me on social media at the Brewery Travels, one, well, you should, but two, I did do a post about my visit there and how impressed I was because Lyle has his stuff together. He completely designed his own system. He is taking it where he is making, so all of these beers, because we talked about it on the show, like how it was pretty simple, straightforward stuff. And even there, I was talking to him. He was like, yeah, like these are the most basic bland recipes, essentially, because he's essentially calibrating his entire system to get exactly the way he wants it to run. And I was really impressed with the beer, the vanilla porter, the amber, the pills. I mean, he is going to though branch out. He's going to do some more creative stuff. I saw today he posted on Facebook. He was, I don't know if complaining was the right word. He's not a big fan of hazy IPAs, but he is brewing one for all of you haze bros out there. But he's doing he's making great beer. The space is awesome. It was formerly an auto dealership and meatpacking factory. And the whole second level is a big event space. They actually have the original elevator that they used to move like the old Model Ts and whatnot up to the second level for display out on the windows. And they use that to be able to move stuff for events. They're working on the outdoor space in the back is eventually going to get a stage, he said, hopefully. So, yeah, I mean, we talked about Fond du Lac for the longest time, did not have a brewery to call their own. And not only do they have one now, I really think Lyle's got something here that this could end up being a true great brewery for the state of Wisconsin. Like this is a very, very good start. And I'm wishing them nothing but the best. I think they're right downtown in Fond du Lac. I think the community's really behind them. I talked to multiple people there that were really excited to finally have a brewery. And the fact that it is making great beer is going to make it so that people continue to be excited, I think. So, yeah, I know you're planning on getting up there at some point. Other people, if you are within striking distance of Fond du Lac, I would definitely recommend doing so. He's only going to keep making more different beers and better beer, I'm sure. So, yeah, I was hoping to go in there and have like some solid beers and enjoy getting to learn more about it as they kind of got their feet wet because they just opened, and I was really impressed already, Greg.
In-house kitchen?
Yes, they do have food. Yes, they are making food. I can't remember what all was there. I do remember seeing someone bring out a big hot pretzel that looked absolutely phenomenal, but they do have in-house food. I don't know how extensive the menu is right now, but they do have their own like food guy there. I talked to him.
Two-story. It's a two-story operation.
Two-story. It's two, and so the brewery's in the far back, and then the upstairs area is just one huge open event space that I think is going to become one of the places to have like wedding receptions and big parties and whatnot in Fond du Lac. That's the bottom left picture there. They have another bar. I don't know if you can really tell in that picture. There is a bar up there, but I believe it is just strictly for events. they don't have any permanent seating up there. It is just for at least for now,
Gotcha.
just event stuff. But yeah, the brews there in the open in the back, and then I still think having that original elevator that was used for the old autos to have it go between the levels, it's still in working condition. It's pretty freaking cool. So yeah, big claps for Fond du Lac Beer Company.
Yes, and a big opening and in the beer desert, and yeah, and look for that podcast coming soon, y'all, soonish.
Hopefully, yeah.
And we had another big announcement today.
Yes,
just hours ago.
we did. So Bull Falls, we've been kind of covering this whole rebrand, new ownership kind of shift there in Wausau. And just less than 2.5 hours ago, they went live after giving folks a kind of a 24-hour warning. And they made a kind of announcement here that on what was the date again? I sent it in our group. Let me see here. July 26th. They will be opening up that final weekend in July, just the beer garden, which you can see in these images that I took screenshots of from the live. The beer garden is going to be what is open currently. They did not give a timeline for interior. I would assume by the time it gets cold, by the time it gets to be wintertime, I would assume they would. But I guess we'll have to wait and see. They did say in that keg there that they were just tapping a Hefeweizen. So yeah, Bull Falls here. Next time you talk to us, it'll be leading right up to that, and then we'll be able to add them officially back onto the map and onto the statistics and all that kind of stuff. So very exciting for Wausau. I mean, we talked about that this was a brewery and a brand that was obviously, a big part of craft beer up in that kind of northern central-ish part of the state. And seems like, the whole rebrand is going well, and hopefully they're able to kick things off well later this month.
Yeah. And I heavily advise that y'all hit Bull Falls, go at least follow the Facebook page. They're giving away merch, and they're actually keeping y'all updated pretty tightly for people who are in Wausau or looking forward to this, or not in Wausau, like Joe and I, looking forward to this. So check out follow them, please. Immediately. They're doing well about talking about what they're doing, and it's just exciting because it's really a whole new thing moving into a whole old new thing, or a whole old thing. So cheers to that. Speaking of new thing,
so we don't really have any firm updates on Radix fermentation, which is, as I've talked about, one that I am incredibly excited about coming in to the old firehouse in Cudahy, just a little ways south of Milwaukee, one of the southern suburbs of Milwaukee. But they posted, was it yesterday or 2 days ago, Greg? I can't remember now. But either way, two days ago, they posted on their stories, they posted some images, Tank Day. And so that is a very positive sign that they are moving all of these gorgeous tanks into what I assume is their brewery. I hope that's their brewery. So that seems like a step in the right direction. There were no other posts, no other informations about that, but we felt that was a noteworthy thing to mention to folks. So keep your eyes on their pages. Instagram seems to be where they're posting the stories, but otherwise they don't provide a whole lot of updates so far. I'm assuming once we get close, we will start to see some more action on those social pages. But if you don't have all the social stuff, you can come to us. We will continue to post about it and follow up on it. So, and then here, shout out to our good friend Bill from Subnerve. This comes from him on an update that so Lost Apostle, if folks remember, this was at several months ago now, that this was when we kind of were following up on some potential brewery openings, and we found out about this one way up. Is that Bay? It's not Bayfield. What's the loss? I'm trying to remember what Bayfield. It is Bayfield. Okay. Or no, Washburn, Bayfield Street in Washburn. So way, way, way up north there. When we talked about the northern tips, this is up there. They had a groundbreaking last November, I believe, And before that, they had to tear down this whole building that they had been hoping to renovate. It's the lot sat vacant for a while. I think there were some issues with that. But now Bill drove by and there has been at least some movement. There's been no posts, no updates, at all since kind of that initial groundbreaking thing where I think they filled in the hole. But going by here, Bill just did this a couple days ago, snapped some photos. That seems like it's part of a structure of a building. And there are also some other, apparently he was talking to some other people, and the word on the street is that it's going to be a 10-barrel system, which is quite big, I feel like, but have to wait and see to confirm that. But either way, it's good to at least get some sort of update on this. When when it's been silent, it's good to see that there is at least progress, even if it is slow progress. That is better than no progress. Because what you start to worry when they fill in the hole and then there's nothing ever. But the fact that there is now at least a skeleton of a building there, I think shows that there is some promise here that this is going to eventually come to fruition, Greg.
Yeah, it's never completely lost, but forever slightly astray.
Yeah. So, that's for people that are just listening. If you're just listening, that's what it says on their logo. What Greg
that's their logo,
so,
y'all. That's their slogan. So yeah. And I think
anyway,
it applies already to the build out. Because it's been going for a while, this build out, and it's had many, many problems from what we hear. So shout out to them and good luck to them going forward, because these things aren't easy.
No, and like I said, we are rooting for them. That northern part of Wisconsin, be great to have another brewery up there. But yeah, next up, Hop Yard Ale Works, and this is for their expansion, the Appleton-based brewery, their expansion into downtown Menominee Falls. Just tap room, not brewing, but they are obviously getting very close or closer to having an opening date. Because they are hiring, and a little over a week ago, they had walk-in open interviews listing all their positions. It says, though, here, if you're paying attention, on this graphic on the bottom center, it says opening end of July. So we do not have a firm date yet, but according to this, at least, by the end of the month, you will be able to go into Menominee Falls to get some Hop Yard Ale Works beer. And some of their, apparently, I believe wood-fired pizza is one of the other main calling cards at Hop Yard, Greg.
Another Main Street brewery. We love to see it.
Yes. So I am assuming I am around. I will hopefully be able to possibly get there. I don't know if me and you have talked about before about going to an opening day. It's, I may wait a day or two. We'll see how things shake out with my schedule and when they actually open, but I would like to get there as soon as possible to kind of provide, again, the boots on the ground. But so here, another update on a new brewery, Union Grove, Tailwinds. These pictures are a little bit older. They were actually posted shortly before our last Badger Beer Report, but I missed them. But I wanted to show them now, at least, because they are obviously making some really good progress there with their build out. Seems like the space, very nice. Lots of windows, lots of natural light. Brewing system is there, I believe in. I don't know if it's fully in place yet or not, but seems like it's getting there. So yeah, we may see them, not too far down the road, being able to make some announcements, hopefully. So, and I know, like I said, the aviation here, you're excited about this one.
Yeah, good to see it's going along. I'm personally hoping for late August on this one, maybe September. Yeah. We'll see. We got to keep hopes up, but you never know. They got to get it. They still got to get the brewing. The brewing equipment's in there, but they still got a lot to do. So
yeah, they do.
More good luck going this way.
Absolutely.
And also, so just recently published a chat that I had with Ryan from a brewery, Nonic, one of my favorite breweries up in the north. They're really, really excellent. Check them out. As Joel says, or as I say, Joel alluded to it. Those northern breweries are harder for us to get to outside of Landon, And Landon also told me about Brewery Nonic. But Brewery Nonic's a really really great one up north, y'all. And you see 50 minutes there. Ryan and I had a really interesting conversation. There's a little bit of technical difficulties in there around the 12-minute mark, but other than that, it's a really great, fun background on Nonic and everything about Nonic. So cheers to Brewery Nonic on that one. Check that out, y'all, when you get a chance.
And then this one's also
Another
you,
thing you
Greg.
should
That's
check
all
out.
you.
Another thing you should check out is Hop Garden in Belleville that opened up last week, y'all, on the 2nd. I was there. I was there minutes after it opened. It wasn't even remotely that packed. You can check all of our social media for our pictures there. And I have to release a reel. I'll release it right after we end here, y'all. Um, with our social media about walking out the back and seeing how beautiful and wonderful of a space this is. And I could see them growing into this one. They're going to have a 1 barrel experimental system there. Even though they're not going to brew there, their regular beers, they're going to have 1 barrel experimental system.
Fun.
And they're also going to be doing some smoking in-house there too.
Ooh.
It's on Main Street, Belleville, which again, we love. The Main Street breweries. To me, there's no better way to connect with your your community. If you're on Main Street, you're right there. So the back comes out to this wonderful park here with the lake and the dam and all kinds. It's just beautiful, y'all. They're gonna have music all over the place. The beers were really, really solid and fun. And hopefully, I will be able to get a tour of the Hop Garden, which I've been wanting to go to since I've known this brewery. So good times. If you're anywhere near Belleville, check out Hop Garden. It's actually literally right down the street from Paoli, where their original tap room is. But this one just offers a different feel, and we're just happy to see this happen in that in the old auto mechanic building. They kept the ambience of that going. Really nice space, really nice beers, really nice time, really nice community. Nothing I can say more about Hop Garden, but check it out. Good times.
Yeah, well, I didn't realize that. I love when like the secondary locations, even if they're not doing full brewing, having like that kind of pilot system where you can brew some fun stuff that may only be on tap at times at the other location to draw people to the different spots. That's really, really cool. And the house, house smoked. Yeah, I'm sure that's going to be great. So we now have a little update from our friends in Racine Littleport Brewing, which we covered. They were closed down for a while. They are apparently now moving. What is it? Is it across the street? I believe. Yes.
I'm confused.
Yeah. So
you've been there, so I'm confused.
So this original, I should have looked up the exact history on this building. It is a very old building. I think right on kind of the cusp there of downtown Racine. And this original location is reopening. I don't know if they had, I believe that maybe some renovations. I think maybe were they moving, I believe, into moving the brewery, because it was a smaller brewery system within the tap room, essentially next, like all open to each other kind of. So it sounds like across the street, the DP Wrigley building, they are looking into turning the river level ground floor into the brewery winery pub. So it says the original Little Port will open up sooner, but there's still a lot of cleanup before we reopen. ASAP though. So ASAP, that could be end of the month. That could be, I don't know. We don't have any firm dates, but they essentially, I believe so. It sounds like they maybe move the brewery to the building next door, and that the original location is now just like the tap room. And then they may end up adding something different. They may end up adding another little pub to that building across the street, which would be an interesting move. I guess if you're busy enough, in one location to have the second option, and throwing in the word winery there too. So I don't know. We may have to reach out to them. I do love the sign reopening soon under old management. I do love that. Just to clarify that hey, the business has not changed hands at all. It is still the same Littleport Brewing. I'm so relieved that it seems like they are coming back, even potentially. I'm assuming sounds like stronger than they were before. Because Racine deserves and needs a brewery. If not, they should really have more than one down there. So I'm really glad that they are keeping this, and looking forward to the impending announcement for Littleport.
Yeah.
Do you have anything you wanted to add?
Oh, yeah.
Okay. So Vault 202, if you remember, I talked with Scott. We had a great conversation. This is one that we're excited about there in Appleton, opening up inside an old bank. And if you drive by up there, you will see what looks to be a very nice sign on the outside of the building. And they said opening day is getting closer. But Greg, we had some, maybe some little intel, maybe some rumors that here in the next few weeks, even maybe end of the month here, we may see it. No official announcement yet from Vault 202. So we'll see. But it sounds like we are very much on the cusp in the terms of next time you see us. I think we should maybe have an opening date announcement. I'm hoping so. But yeah, this is one that I'm going to have to get up to at some point once they are open.
Yeah, and shout out to our friends at the McFleshmans. They just released the podcast with Scott too, so you can get the further update. So you got us and you got the McFleshmans, two of the best beer podcasts in Wisconsin, y'all, talking about Vault. So you can get your full Vault there, respecting the beer, I believe it's called, and it's the latest one that came out. And yes, we've heard industry people have said 3 weeks for Vault, y'all. So make your plans and be ready, because this is going to be one of the bigger ones, kind of like Fond du Lac, in my opinion.
Mm-hmm. Yep. With I mean, if you go and listen to the podcast again, and we've talked about it, Scott's got quite the resume when it comes to the beer industry. So I'm expecting some quality stuff coming out of Vault 202. And speaking of podcasts, you can also go and remember to listen to our interview with Ian and Tracy from Boulder Junction, and they are continuing to chip away and make progress up there in the far north woods of Wisconsin. They had kind of a little bit of a cheeky post on Facebook here at the end of June, basically saying like, well, when are you guys going to be open? When are you guys going to be open? And they said, as soon as possible. That they talk about that they are so thankful for the excitement and, everyone being very in tune with the brewery and following along. They say, a lot's been happening at the construction site. They've been adding a lot. I believe brewing equipment, they've been having to have some help with moving in with that, I believe, correct? With some of the equipment stuff.
Yeah,
it's
been here. Interesting. Yes. Well, that's part of it. Yeah, and there's all kinds of things going on with this build. And as Joel says, again, I think on their Facebook page, it's a fascinating thing. And also they have their YouTube too, y'all. I would suggest you following both of those if you're close or you're interested in Boulder Junction. I don't know if anybody could be as interested as Joel and I, outside of some people. I've been all over Boulder Junction the second I found out about it. This is fascinating for me. Another Main Street brewery. Just back to this real quick, y'all. When you listen to the interview that Joel did with them, you will probably be excited as we are about the beer, because Tracy's background, we're talking about backgrounds, Tracy's background and the way she talks about the philosophy about how she comes up with her recipes makes me believe, Joel, that this is going to be a gem in the north.
Yeah, for sure. I mean, I think we have all continued to say we're just hoping that they have as smooth of a final process as they can get, because they deserve it after they have had to deal with a lot up there. But Joel, hoping
there's a thing where, like, us in the industry, especially us beer geeks, like when we hear a brewer talk about beer, we could almost translate in our head the quality that's going to come out of him.
Yeah.
If that makes sense, just the philosophy sometimes, and just by those, Jessica from Giant Jones is another person who, again, when I hear talk about beer, I'm just like, wow, you make good beer. It doesn't even matter. Like, so Tracy, the way she talks is just, check that podcast out, y'all. It's fun.
100%. They were a lot of fun to talk to. And then And then here passes the baton again to you here for kind of a pretty big Madison update.
Yeah, Herbiery. Am I getting that right?
Herbiery is what I was thinking it was.
Yeah,
But...
one of the only breweries in America that doesn't use hops persistently,
Yep.
and is proud of it. I talked to the owner Nia, and they told me that that blip in the screen was basically a blip where they went out of business a couple month or two. Was basically a restructuring drill, and it was a restructuring in a manner to set up the brewery for long-term success. And I feel that that's what's going on. So it's only really him. I'm sorry, it's only really them and another coworker, and they're just doing the brewery 2 times a week until they can build back up and build some small distribution and get some stability with the brewing process. But they love to use herbs. Obviously, there was herbs like just sitting around, and all kinds of different concoctions of beer that I don't think you'll see anywhere else. They're literally one of our most unique breweries. Yeah, they're one of our most unique breweries. They are and just a fun brewery, a really nice place. Again, the only thing I can complain about it is the parking. But other than that, unique beers. I have, they have a Black is Beautiful. They have so if y'all close, they're in that Starkweather, Malt House, Young Blood, Lone Girl area there, y'all. They are worth your time if you can check them out. Only limited hours though, I believe Friday and Saturday. And a Monday. So check them out. We're just happy that they're back because they're just so unique.
They are. I mean, this is a place that you can go to try something that you've probably never tried before, which I did. I mean, like I said, if I've gone to over 1,400 breweries, and it was one of the more unique places I've ever been to. So yeah, super interesting, really fun spot. And as you kind of just said, I'm relieved that they are still there. I feel like having these kind of places is important. Madison's a great place to have a brewery like this. And I just think it's important to have these kind of places just anywhere, because that's part of, what makes craft beer and brewing fun, is to have these small, very niche kind of things that are doing something completely different from everyone else. So best of luck to Herbiery. And now
if y'all don't like, real quick, if y'all don't like hops, that's your place.
Yeah.
We hear people don't like hops. You make too hoppy beers. You won't have that problem there. So
yeah,
there you go.
So our next update is from Dairy Air Brewing Company. So
Seymour, right?
Yes, Seymour. And they just recently, yesterday, right? Yes, yesterday, or 2 days ago, I guess. No, yesterday. Yesterday. It was yesterday. Yesterday evening, they had their first Founders Club meeting where people could go and sign up. They had 2 different levels of kind of memberships, including one where if you become like the higher level, the golden cow tag is what they're calling it, you have the option to go and brew a beer with them, which is a fun little additive feature. And they are having a second one. It says they appreciate, everybody that signed up already, and they announced that they are having a second meeting, an opportunity to sign up for these initial Founders Club opportunities on Sunday, July 27th at 5 p.m. So on a weekend, which I would assume is a little bit easier to make for some people than Monday right after work. But they are still, we'll see. I think they initially were announcing like in August. Now maybe September. They're not. I can't remember for sure. But this one's coming down the pipeline here, I would assume, in the next couple months. So just waiting for them to, I think, cross some T's, dot some I's, and cross that finish line. But yeah, we will have those final updates from them when the time comes, Greg.
Yeah, I'm thinking early fall for this one, y'all. And also you could check on their their Facebook page. They do some updates where they walk through, and I'm just gauging by what we hear from their Facebook page. Seymour looks like what, a half an hour west of Green Bay or something like that,
Something
y'all.
like that.
So yeah, something like that. So yeah, and yeah, check their Facebook page for daily updates. And this is just a different way, y'all. We've seen many different ways of breweries to raise money. But this is a community based one where people pay money into the club and then they get special things. So we've seen this before, but this derriere seems to be the one that's doing it in 25 in Wisconsin. And good luck to them, and we'll see what happens to them early in the fall. I believe is what we can look for up at Seymour there with derriere. So
yes, and then this one was one that you kind of stumbled onto and were covering there, Greg.
Yeah, I got a tip that that Wisconsin Brewing. Someone was like, "Wait, what?" Someone sent me a tip. What's going on with at Wisconsin Brewing? I was like, "Wait, what's going on? I don't know." And they're like, "I don't know. This building, or are they moving, or what's going on?" I saw something on. This is LinkedIn, y'all. This wasn't on their regular pages. This was on LinkedIn. So head over to LinkedIn and head over to LinkedIn and saw it. And I don't know. I went down to Belleville to see. So then I stopped in the Wisconsin Brewing, which is actually Lake Louis Brewing, but it's Lake Louis Brewing with Wisconsin Brewing thing on the side. Y'all know they went through that transition and that merge and all that. But apparently, some places they're still going by Wisconsin Brewing. I don't know. They're just making a big storage area, and they have a big brewing system there. And I didn't see any when I was in the tap room, I didn't see any Wisconsin Brewing beers branded. I saw all Lake Louis, but apparently the contracting business as well. We know that they contract, and something's afoot here though, Joel, right? Or no?
Yeah.
Or we just storing our beer?
That's a pretty big building. I mean, that's not like your tiny little addition. Seems like a pretty big and it said, I mean, you can see there several. I mean, this is going to be opening up pretty soon now, because when they made this post, it said 30 days away from our official move-in date. So I guess go follow them on LinkedIn. It says that they have almost 1,300 followers on LinkedIn. So I don't think I've ever had a brewery that consistently posted it. Like, it's just an interesting tactic to not have this on other forms of media. But hey, whatever's working for them. But yeah, I mean, this is kind of your neck of the woods. I'm assuming you'll be able to kind of follow up and check in on this.
We'll check in on it. And I don't know, my Lake Louis, they had some really nice lagers going on there, really nice lagers.
Mm-hmm.
So and Lake Louis has always been especially around this area, a fan favorite. When we like Warp Speed is the one, right? The Scotch Ale, wonderful beer.
Yep.
The beer that built that place, I believe, and enabled it to be what it is today, which is pretty big given now, the whole.
They got the dock house too.
Pretty
they got
big,
the dock house at the but it's Wisconsin Brewing Field or whatever in Oconomowoc. But yeah,
it's the same. I guess it's the same.
Yeah,
it's the same. Yeah. So what's not the same is we're going to start doing. Joel did some work here, and we dug up a whole bunch of brewery birthdays, y'all. So I'm just going to run through them real quick. But as y'all can see here, for those who aren't watching, we have Potosi with their 17th birthday this month, y'all. So any of these that I say, y'all, if you're close or you're interested, please check their social media because they're throwing a party at some point. Any brewery that has a birthday throws a party. That's how we do it. And so any of these are your favorite, please jump out. Because I know Venture is his seventh birthday this week. I know they're celebrating it this weekend. We're doing this on the 8th of July. So this weekend I know Venture, but I don't know when everybody else is on here. So please, if they're one of your favorites, check their social media because they're going to be throwing a party. 17th was Potosi has their 17th birthday. One Barrel out of Egg Harbor, 13th. Venture East, 7th. Rebellion in Cedarburg, 7th. Flicks Brew House, which I'll be going to see. I think Jurassic Park soon. Joel, 7th,
new one.
Yeah, and I gotta get on those beers. I don't think I've had a bunch of them, and I hear nothing but good, so I need to get over there.
Yeah,
Heart of the North. Yeah, Heart of the North and Ladysmith is 6th birthday. Sahale, with our friends Gathering Place, owned by our friends Gathering Place, 6th birthday. Topsy Turvy, Lake Geneva, 5th. Eagle Park, Muskego, 5th. Rio Lobo, 5th. And what's that one?
Way Omega.
Why? Yeah, okay, you got it. 4th, Agnotic. Did I get that right?
Agonic,
Agnotic.
Right, that's the one that
Rice
I
Lake.
had that in there. That they're the ones that are currently trying to rebuild. Not fully, but I wanted they are still in there from when they first opened. So.
Okay. All right. So they may not be having a party, y'all, but we'll need to have something when they come back. Their comeback party will need people to be there. Peach Barn and Sister Bay, 4th birthday, Faclandia and St. Francis, or Southern Milwaukee as we can call it, 4th birthday. Wonderful and lovely Sway Brewing in Bailey Harbor, 3rd. Chris visited there last weekend, y'all, and we're gonna put some pictures out of Chris's visit. He had an outstanding time and he loved the beer. And then the 1st birthday for Lone Girl Tap House in Madison. They were born last year and their birthdays this month. So shout out to all the July brewery birthdays. If you can get out to any of them, please do.
And be on the lookout. Sway is another one that I'm currently in the process of booking an interview with. So really interesting, I think, story up there. Great beer. Excited about talking with them and getting some more information. So yeah, just to be on the lookout for that. And then things to keep an eye on.
Yeah.
What's up?
Ones we're getting more information on all the
time. Yes.
To do a segue.
So things to keep an eye on. We're still waiting. Gravity Box, Wisconsin Dells location. Gnarly Cedar opening up, hopefully their new spot in Wrightstown. We haven't had an update from them since end of May. Mobcraft, Foxtown, I think, Empty Bottle, we're not going to hear anything, or Ope. None of those we're expecting to hear anything from in the near future.
Mobcraft says they're working through the business things and it's taking longer than expected, y'all.
Yeah. So
but it's still
hopefully
working.
That
still working.
Yes,
still working.
That it will be on their way. The yard, we're just keep an eye on that because we feel like something may end up kind of coming to fruition with them. Brewed Omen is one that we've pretty much covered pretty extensively. Last 2 weeks, we haven't seen anything in regards directly to the brewing there. I feel like, though, based on when they got stuff in, we got to be getting pretty close, hopefully. We've talked before, if you're on, their socials, in particular Facebook, they are on it with their socials posting. So I know that when the time comes, they will be all about getting the word out. So you can follow them. And then Lombardi initially said, that they may be ready here. I know we've seen posts of them working and brewing stuff on their equipment that some point in July or August, we may see them open. So I don't know. We haven't had word yet, but we may. Yes.
One last one before we move on,
yes.
Joe, it's not on here, but Youngblood has not they broke ground, but they have not. There's no movement on their construction site.
Oh, I should add them. I should add that logo on here though, just so that we remember to keep an eye on that.
Yeah, or we'll add them when they start doing something. How about that?
Yeah.
Let's make them earn it.
So updated numbers. You may notice there's a tick down. So I did find 2 names that were closed that had not yet been removed on the spreadsheet. So that's why we currently are sitting at 260 overall with 206 individual breweries, 34 locations, additional locations and whatnot. And here is the lovely map. Openings, reopenings, new locations. So yeah, we and then the closings, which we unfortunately just added Hop and Barrel to. You can kind of see for the most part, things are pretty spread out with the closures. We have some places that are kind of, popping up around, but it's mostly concentrated on kind of that southwestern side of the state with the openings. But like I said, we got a couple folks holding it down on kind of the far northern and farthern western sides of the state.
Verrier, Bull Falls, and Junction. Okay.
Yeah. So we will be checking in with folks here. But do you have anything else you wanted to add, Greg?
No, you say the last words, sir.
All righty. Well, we'll probably see you folks here another couple weeks with more updates and news on all the breweries coming to fruition here across the state of Wisconsin. And as always, whether it's where you're visiting or where you're living, be sure to drink local everywhere. Cheers, everybody.